Warriors, Fire and Ice, Chapter 3. Bluestar led the way swiftly back to camp. The noise of their return awoke the cats who had remained behind. As the group streamed through the gorse entrance, sleepy figures began emerging from the dens.
What's the news?
Called Halftail.
Was ShadowClan there?
Asked Willowpelt.
Yes, they were.
Bluestar replied gravely. She strode past Willowpelt and leapt up onto the high rock. There was no need for her customary call for a clan meeting. The cats were already gathering below the rock. Tigerclaw jumped up beside her.
There was much tension between the clans tonight, and I became aware of a possible new allegiance between Crooked Star and Nightpelt.
Greystripe squeezed into the small space next to Fireheart.
What are they talking about? I thought Nightpelt agreed with Bluestar.
Nightpelt?
Croaked One Eye's ancient voice from the back of the crowd.
He has been named as ShadowClan's new leader.
But his name? Hasn't he been accepted by StarClan yet?
He plans to travel to the Moonstone tomorrow night.
No leader can speak for their clan at a gathering without receiving StarClan's approval first.
He has the support of ShadowClan, One Eye.
Answered Bluestar, nodding at the old she-cat.
We cannot ignore what he said tonight.
One Eye gave a disgruntled sniff, and Bluestar lifted her head to address the whole clan.
At the gathering, I suggested we find WindClan and bring them home. But Crooked Star and Nightpelt did not want them to return.
They're hardly likely to join forces, though, are they? They almost had a scrap over hunting rights in the river.
Didn't you see the looks they were swapping by the end of the meeting? They're both desperate to get their paws on WindClan's territory.
But why?
Asked Sample, who is sitting beside her mentor Whitestorm.
I suspect ShadowClan is not as weak as we thought they would be, and Nightpelt seems to have more ambition than any cat expected.
But why does RiverClan want to hunt WindClan's grounds? They've always grown fat on the fish from their precious river. The uplands are a long way to go for a few windblown rabbits.
The once beautiful queen, Dappletail, spoke up in a voice cracked with age.
At the gathering, some of the RiverClan elders spoke of Two Legs taking over part of their river.
That's right. They say Two Legs have been living in shelters beside the river and disturbing the fish. The RiverClan cats have had to hide in the bushes and watch them with empty stomachs.
For now, we must be careful to do nothing that may bring ShadowClan and RiverClan closer together. Go and rest now. Running Wind and Dustpaw, you will take the dawn patrol.
A cold breeze rattled the dying leaves in the trees overhead. The cats, still murmuring amongst themselves, went to their dens. For the second night in a row, Fireheart dreamed. He was standing in the dark. The roar and the stench of a thunderpath was very close by. Fireheart felt himself buffeted and blinded by the monsters that roared up and down with glaring eyes. Suddenly, through the din, Fireheart heard the pitiful cry of a young cat. The desperate wail sliced through the thundering of the monsters. Fireheart awoke with a start. For a moment, he thought that the cry had woken him, but the only noise was the muffled snores of warriors sleeping beside him. A growl came from somewhere in the middle of the den. It sounded like Tigerclaw. Fireheart felt too unsettled to go back to sleep, so he crept silently out of the den. It was dark outside, and the stars dotting the black sky told him dawn was still far off. With the wail of the young cat echoing in his mind, Fireheart padded over to the nursery, his ears pricked. He could hear paw steps beyond the camp wall. He sniffed the air. It was just Darkstripe and Longtail. Fireheart picked up their scents as they guarded ThunderClan's territory. The calm of the sleeping camp soothed Fireheart.
Every cat must have nightmares about the Thunderpath,
he told himself. He crept back into the den and circled comfortably back into his nest. Greystripe purred briefly in his sleep as Fireheart settled beside him and closed his eyes. Greystripe's nose woke him, prodding his side.
Leave me alone.
Wake up.
Why? We're not on patrol.
Bluestar wants to see us in her den, now.
Fuzzy-headed, Fireheart scrambled to his paws and followed Greystripe out of the den. The sun was beginning to turn the sky pink, and there was frost on the trees around the camp. The two cats bounded across the clearing to Bluestar's den and announced their arrival with hushed mews.
Enter!
It was Tiger Claw's voice that answered from behind the draped lichen. Alarm swept through Fireheart as he remembered his conversation with Bluestar on the way to the gathering. Had she told Tiger Claw about his accusations? Greystripe pushed his way into Bluestar's den. Fireheart followed him uneasily. Bluestar was sitting in her nest, her head up and her eyes bright. Tiger Claw stood in the middle of the smooth sandstone floor. Fireheart tried to read his expression, but the great tabby's eyes were as cold and steady as always. Bluestar began at once.
Fireheart, Greystripe, I have an important mission for you.
A mission?
Fireheart echoed. Relief and excitement swept away his anxiety.
I want you to find WindClan and bring them back to their territory.
Before you get too excited, bear in mind this could be very dangerous. We don't know where WindClan has gone, so you will have to follow what is left of their scent, probably into hostile territory.
But you've been through WindClan territory when you traveled with me to the Moonstone. Their scent will be familiar, as will the two-leg territory beyond the uplands.
Will it be just us?
Our other warriors are needed here. Leaf Bear is coming, and we need to gather as much fresh kill as possible. Many prey-poor moons lie ahead.
Bluestar nodded.
Tiger Claw will help you prepare for the journey.
Fireheart's paws prickled with unease. Bluestar had as much faith in her deputy as ever. Why was Fireheart the only cat in ThunderClan who didn't trust Tiger Claw?
You must leave as soon as possible. Good luck.
We'll find them,
Greystripe promised. Dragging his thoughts back to the journey ahead, Fireheart nodded. Tiger Claw followed them out of Bluestar's den.
Do you remember how to get to WindClan territory?
Oh yes, Tiger Claw. We were there
only a few moons ago.
Fireheart flashed a warning glare at his friend. Greystripe had almost given away their journey several nights earlier with Ravenpaw. Tiger Claw hesitated. Fireheart held his breath. Had he noticed Greystripe's mistake?
And can you recall WindClan's scent?
The deputy meowed. Fireheart sent silent thanks to StarClan. The young warriors nodded, and Fireheart began to picture himself charging through the prickly gorse of the uplands in search of the lost clan.
You will need herbs for strength, and to keep your hunger away. Fetch them from Yellowfang before you leave. And don't forget that Nightpelt is planning to travel to the Moonstone tonight. Keep well out of his way.
Yes, Tiger Claw.
He'll never know we're out there.
As I would expect. Now, go!
Without another word, he turned and bounded away.
He might have wished us good luck.
He probably thinks we don't need it,
joked Fireheart as they crossed the clearing towards Yellowfang's den. But at the same time, he reflected. Tiger Claw seemed to be treating them with as much respect as he would any warrior. Was it possible that he wasn't the traitor that Ravenpaw thought? It was still cold, despite the rising sun, but neither cat shivered. Fireheart could feel his fur beginning to thicken as the days grew shorter. Yellowfang's den lay at the end of a tunnel under ferns. A large split rock stood in a corner of a small shaded glade. Spotted Leaf had lived here before Yellowfang. The memory of the gentle tortoiseshell medicine cat tugged at Fireheart's heart. Spotted Leaf had been killed by a Shadow Clan warrior. He missed her desperately.
Yellowfang,
Greystripe called.
We've come for traveling herbs.
The two cats heard a hoarse mew from the shadow in the center of the rock, and Yellowfang squeezed out of the crack.
Where are you going?
We've got to find WindClan and bring them home.
Your first warrior mission. Congratulations! I'll fetch the herbs you'll need.
She returned a few moments later, carrying a small bundle of dried leaves in her mouth.
Enjoy!
She purred, laying them on the ground. Fireheart and Greystripe chewed obediently on the unappetizing leaves.
Yuck. Just as bad as last time.
Fireheart nodded, screwing up his face. Spotted had given them the same herbs when they journeyed with Bluestar to the Moonstone. Greystripe swallowed the last mouthful and nudged Fireheart's shoulder with his nose.
Come on, Slow Slug, let's get going. Bye.
He called to Yellowfang over his shoulder as he sprinted out of the glade.
Wait for me!
Meowed Fireheart, chasing after his friend.
Goodbye. Good luck, youngsters.
Yellowfang meowed after them. As he raced through the tunnel, Fireheart heard the ferns rustling in the morning breeze. They seemed to be whispering, "Good luck, travel safely."